Hello fellow professionals and PlanSwift lovers. Today I'll be demonstrating for us how to do our windows and door deductions and maybe other kinds of openings that you might find in your building during the course of your measurement. PlanSwift offers us with this option, or this flexible option of being able to do all of these deductions without having to go through stress of doing that manually. So today I'll be showing us just a bit of what I have done, a template I've created to do this, and then I'll also be showing you how to create this template. Well, if you look at this drawing, I already did a measurement on this particular job. Now, if I turn on my Blockwork measurement for this face floor plan, you will see that I have measured both the external and the internal blockwork of all the 230 or 225 blockwork. And one thing that I've done in this particular measurement is that I have also deducted my windows, door openings, and other kinds of openings that might be in this particular face floor plan. You might not be able to see that until I show you back end, but let me quickly do that. If I right click on this very Blockwork 225 and then I'll go to properties, you will notice that I already included the height in my measurement and then the thickness. If you check the groupings, you will see that we have about 3 of them. That is the general, the windows, and the doors. I click on the windows section, you will see that I deducted about 27 number of windows, and the height or the width is 0.9, while the height is 1.8 meter. If I also do same on the door, you see we had about 12 number of this kind of door, 1.2 door, and the height is 2.1. Now, by default, this software does not give you this option that will enable you to do all the deductions that I've mentioned, be it the windows, the doors, and other kind of openings or fenestrations that you might find in your drawing. This tutorial will be to show you step by step on how to create this particular template that is going to give you all of these options. Let's get started. Now on the menu bar, click on the template tab. You can see there are some built-in templates already existing and some other templates that I created myself, like the duplex compressive templates by Woki Chinedu, renovation work, pipes and cables, rate and material templates, material and labor schedule, text, and the rest of them. Now let's create a new tab entirely for another block work by clicking on the new tab. Let's name this block work. Now click on the linear tool, rename as Blockwork. Select your most preferred color and hit on OK. Right click on this Blockwork you've created, click on Properties and hit on Advanced. Now on this particular ribbon that has the tools, you will see this particular one that is called Insert Group, because we're going to be needing few parameters to be able to create this formula. I'll click on this estimating group, click on this insert option, and once I do that, I'll type in my first parameter, which is going to be my window 1 quantity. Hit on OK. I'll do the same again. Call this one window 1. Now let's add some parameters for door. Let's call this door 1. Add door 2 height. Now let's go to our form layout. Our form is still the way it was. Let's now get back to advanced and see why it's like that. Now, if you want all of these parameters to appear on the form, you have to check all of these boxes. So let me go ahead and do that. And lastly, this. So by the time we go to our form layout, what we're going to have will be in this form. This is going to work perfectly well, but this is not how we want the form to look. So we have to do some form of organization on the form for it to look better. Then I'll head back to the advanced. I'll go to my form layout. Now, this is the layout of my form. And then all the adjustment I need to do, I can always do on this left hand side of this the form layout dialog box. So we have all our doors and windows parameters in this place. Now let me go ahead and then arrange them the way it's supposed to be. Let me move this one up and then move the quantities up. Now lastly, the window one quantity. All right, so now we have all our parameters well arranged. Now, because the height and the width, we need to have the units by their sides. Let's tick these particular boxes. And you can see that the unit is now by their side. Okay, so this is it here. Again, I would want some of these, our door height and width and quantities to align on the same row. So let me do that quickly. And you can see that door height, dot two height, dot two width, and dot two quantities are now in the same row. All right. Now let's go ahead and click OK and click on our form. Well, it's well arranged, but they have not been sectioned, just like the one you saw on the template I created the first time, or that I was working with. Get back to your advanced, and now on the form layout. Let's group them. You can see there's a particular row in this. There's a particular column called the form tab. For anyone that is door, go ahead and name it doors. We'll do the same here. If you check our form, you can now see that we have two groupings or two sections, the general and the doors. And you can't see any of the doors in this particular form. So let's go ahead and do the same for the windows. I'll copy and paste basically. And then I'll click on OK. Now, if I head back to my form, you'll now see that we have our general, and there's a section for the doors, and there's also section for the windows. Now, let me get back to the advanced. And now you can see that for this our template to work, we'll have to build a particular formula that will work for it. What I will do is that within this estimating group, or insert another property, I'm going to call those total, and another one for window total. It's okay. I guess you already understand what I'm trying to do. So when I click on this window total, I will go ahead and create this particular formula for all my windows. So my window one quantity, I'll drag and drop here, we multiply window 1 width, we'll also multiply my window 1 height, and then I will enclose this in a bracket and now add window 2 quantity, multiply by window 2 width first, and multiply by window 2 height. I will highlight and round up. Now this window total represents this particular formula, and then I will also do the same for the door total. Highlight all the dot 2 and round up. Now remember that each time I do my takeoff, according to what we have currently, is going to be in linear meter. Meanwhile, our blockwork measurement should be in square meter, which means we don't just need the perimeter, we also need the height. As scroll down, you can always double click on each of the option or each of the group to collapse that group. There is a particular parameter called wall height, so I will include that on my form, and then I will drag this, I'll drop it here. So our takeoff is always going to multiply our height, and now you change the unit to be in square meter. Remember that all of these are parameters that I've created are all in meter or in millimeter, whichever one that works for you best. So you can always select your unit here, select meter. Our quantity is going to be each, which is going to represent numbers. Let's get back to the form and see what the form looks like. So now we have the form layout to be in this way. We have our doors section, we have our windows section. So let's get back to advanced, and on our wall height, under our takeoff data group, unit is in meter. So if we get back to our form layout, our wall height is tick to always have the unit by the side. Then we'll click OK. Let's get back to the form layout, and now we have our wall height to be in meter. Get back to home. Under the template part and input section, select and choose the particular template you've created. In our case, it is Blockwork, so I'll choose Blockwork. Let me turn off this particular measurement. So now when I click on the digitizer, you can see it's asking me for the wall height. In this case, let me assume the height of our wall to be 3 meters. That's 3.0. And which kind of wall? Wall 230. Now I click OK. Now I'll try to take some measurement here to this particular place, and now you can see that we have our block wall 230 to be 90 square meter. Now our measurement is correct, but you notice that our wall width is not aligning with the width of our 230 wall. So let's do that correction, or let's go ahead and make that correction on our template tab. So get back to our Blockwork, where I click on properties, get to advanced. One more property we're going to need, that is our wall width. Let's go ahead and check that and get back to the form layout. Our form layout has the wall width unit is going to be in meters also. Now click OK and get back to our form, and now we have wall width and wall height. That's okay. Let's go ahead and check for our measurement. Now let's select this particular measurement we did already and right click and go to the properties. Let's check. Wall width is going to be 0.23, and then I click on OK. Now you can see that our wall width is aligning with the width of the wall on the drawing. Doing this from the back end, but you can always, because I have affected the correction on the template itself, you can always do this measurement and it will come out to be in this form. Let's try that. So right now I'll have to go ahead and continue with my measurement, and if I want to continue with my measurement, I'll have to click on the digitizer and continue to finish. You can see that our width is now aligned with the width of the wall on the drawing. Let me stop here. Now, we have in total 128.8 square meter, but we have windows. These windows were not labeled, but let me assume that this is window 1 and the width is 900, assuming the height is 1.2. How many of this window do we have? So if you count the number of windows, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So on this axis, we have 12 number of this 900 by 1, 2 window. And I'll right click on this, my measurement, go to the place where we have our window. How many of them do we have? We have 12 number of, say, this window 2. And then what is the width? We have 0.9, 0. Height 1.2. Before I click on OK, check our value here is 128.8 square meter. By the time I click on OK, you see nothing really changed, and that's because we've not finished up our formula on the advanced session. So I'll click on this particular session and click on this subtraction sign. I'll drag and drop our door total here, and then our window total. And now I click on OK. You can see it automatically changes from 128.8 square meter to 115 square meter, and that is because the deduction have been carried out automatically. Now let's try and do another measurement. I'll click on my digitizer. Let's do another 230 Blockwork 230. What is my width? My width is going to be 0.23 because my unit is in meter. Height is going to be 3 meter. Then I click on OK. Let me click on this particular wall. And then let me also finish up this particular place where we have 2 windows and 1 door. So on these 2 windows, let me deduct these 2 windows from our quantity. Our quantity here is already showing as 53.6 square meter. By the time I right click and click on properties, we have 2 windows to deduct. This is window 1 now. The height is going to be 1.2. Width is 0.9. How many of them do we have? We just have 2 number. I'll click on OK. You can see that we have 53.6 square meter. Also, we have a door of 1.8 by 2.1. Door height 2.1. Door width to be 1.8. How many of them do we have? Just have 1. Then I click on OK. And that is it on this one. Thank you for sticking this long. Feel free to send in your questions and your comments through the comment section. And also do not forget to like, share our videos, and also subscribe to our channel for more useful videos on PlanSwift. Thank you.